So we're here to talk through the Skyscrapers variation of a balanced loop puzzle by Murat. It feels almost every time we get one of these 10 by 10 skyscraper variations, if it's a Tonta or something else, these three clues are always key clues. In this loop variation, you can start by thinking about taking a section of group 1, size 1, size 2, and size 3. It turns out that a section of size 1 actually uses 2 cells, 2 uses 3 cells, and 3 uses 4 cells. So we really have a row that's pretty packed with just one extra cell of slack. And if we actually sketch in the 1, 2, 3, these line segments are always going to be part of something in the loop. We can't necessarily force a thing for the 1 or the 2 long section, although it actually looks like the 2 long section can't span this, so there is a way you could say that this has to be part of the 2 long section. But the key thing I think I'm seeing is that in this column clue, we also are going to have a case where at least these 2 cells coming down, so let's show you this. This is 1, 2, and this is 3, and coming from the back, this is 3. And so in both placements of a 3 long or longer section, it could be a total of 4, these edges are used. But this intersection with this clue right here, it actually is going to be saying it's very bad if we use this edge. If we did come down 1 more, then the first place a 1 can be is here, and the 2 can be there, and this would go off the edge of the grid. And so because of the intersection of a 3 with a 3, looks like the fast star of this puzzle is recognizing that the only way to fulfill this clue is having an edge that's like so. That again is going to set us up so we can be doing some mix of 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 4 down in the bottom, but get a start like this. Notice that this white circle is going to be a pretty key factor here. If we go any farther to the left, we would be taking a 3rd cell and then would actually have to take a 4th cell to make this even on both sides. And so there's another effective edge, which is just the left of the circle. So this is a 6 in practice and has to come up like this. That now actually strands this white cell in a corner. We see this a lot in balanced loop puzzles. Once you're in a corner with a white circle, it's always got to extend at least 2 out because the immediate place if these turned would close off the loop. So it does extend at least 2 out. The 2 out now hits an edge, so this is end of the grid. Black circle always have a shorter and longer leg, so the longer leg has to be the one that comes up, which is 2 or longer, and the short is on the right, which is exactly 1 in size. We form this little bit of loop, and these ends have to avoid each other, so we don't close off things too soon. Let's now think about these skyscraper clues in the bottom. The first length seen in this group is size 2. So the next length has to be at least size 3. There's a total length of 4 it can take, but these 2 cells must be used in any length of size 3. And this is a similar situation. We've got a length of size 2, and we've got 3 more that we could take. And so those have to use these cells. We still have to finish out what this is, and because it's coming through a white circle, it can't come further up. That would put a 1 on one side with a 2 on the other side. So the 3 cells that are used have to be these. This is another white 6. Comes over like so. The first length here is seen as 6, so is 3. This clue is definitely fulfilled. These are fulfilled. This end has to come to the right. If it came up, it would close itself off, so it's got to come down like this. This end's got to come over to the left then. We've got to figure out how to place 2, which is going to need a short and then a long section. So let's think about the long section. The short can be sort of these first 2 cells, and then it could be these 2 or these 2, but in both cases, these cells are taken. What we can ask is it possible for this edge not to be crossed like so? And if it's not crossed, then the 2 long section is going to be this one, but it's going to bridge a black clue with 1 to the left and 1 to the right. So it's actually the case that this clue requires at least these 2 cells, maybe all 3 of these cells, but at least these 2 boundaries to be crossed. That leaves this 1 section for the 1, fulfilling that clue. This comes down, has to dodge the end to keep going. This is a corner. And we're going to get this kind of shape into the grid. We've got this black circle in the top second row. It's got to have a longer edge, and the only direction it can go is to the left to be 2 or longer. And the single edge is going to come up. This doesn't want to close with that, so this comes over, this comes over. Going to get this. This black circle has a single length of 1 to the right, so it needs to have a longer leg of 2 or more. The only direction that can be is to the left. We've now got a section of loop, which means these are the same ends, and we can't close them off, so this has to come to the left and this down. These are the same ends I was just pointing at, so this comes to the left, and that's what closes off. We've got a little bit of a stall point here, but I think there are a few things that will help us out. This clue looks to be pretty critical, and it's going to see 2 buildings, or sorry, 2 lengths. I mean, the buildings are skyscraper mimics in this puzzle. And it's going to see a single length of 1 in the space, and it's going to see this length of 2. Note that you can't have an even longer ledge further here. So that this has only a length of 1 in the space sets up an interesting but critical deduction right here. A black circle always needs to have some side of 2 or more, and it can't be to the right, and it can't be down, and it can't be to the left because of this skyscrapers clue, so it's got to be up. And so I think this edge is key in this moment of the puzzle to really make progress. It forces this white to be fully vertical and look like this. It's going to force this edge. This is a white that's a total of 4, so it's got to come like this. That means these cells connect. This comes down. This edge is going to chase all the way around because it can't connect to this one. So this is that length of 1. This edge is there so that this is a valid clue. These are valid clues. This doesn't do this to close itself off, so it comes out. This comes here. And we finish the last edge of the grid, which completes the puzzle, just marking that all the clues have been used. So hope that gave you some sense of how to work through this variation from Murat. The skyscrapers logic meant these 3 clues were critical to start, and some of the forced loop bits, these line segments, constrained the right side of the grid based on needing a white that had 6 length, and actually fully constrained by not using this edge, the star of the shape. We worked our way up the right side of the grid and into the left of the grid by thinking hard about how you could fulfill this 2 clue with a length of at least 2 that had to be extending farther to the right here, and later on fulfill this 2 clue by having a length of 2 that couldn't extend in that row. And so these 2 clues look to be 2 critical ones in the middle and late stages of the puzzles to think about. So if you got stuck, it may have been not thinking about those exterior clues as much as you could have. So hope you learned a little bit about this puzzle style and ways to approach this genre in general. We'll see you again soon.